Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is by Pig Vacuum. My child is worth millions, I feel worthless. My son is 1 year old. Thanks to his grandfather and uncle, who are collectively worth hundreds of millions of dollars, my son now has a trust in his name, and 4 different types of tax-advantaged investment accounts worth more than I'll ever see in my wildest dreams. They did this behind my back, and the only reason I found out about it was because I got a letter from Schwab in the mail addressed to my child explaining the benefits of his accounts. I asked my father-in-law about it, and he gave me all the details. While I am beyond grateful that my son will never want for anything, it also makes me extremely depressed. It makes me feel like I have nothing to offer my son. Nothing I could ever do will have more impact on him than the financial freedom and success he's been given by them. I'm a blue-collar worker who barely scrapes together $50 to $60K a year. Add to this that my wife is also set for life through similar means, and you get a very bleak outlook on my impact in my family's lives. Not to mention my wife barely even likes me, and I am basically crippled at 26 due to bad genetics, and I feel like they wouldn't miss me, or might even just be better off without me. I've basically stopped caring about work and can't interact with my family joyfully. It just makes me feel sad whenever I'm around them. Our next post is by Cesar Sensei. My girlfriend lied about our vacation, and I am beyond angry. So for context, me and my girlfriend have been together for a very long time. Everything is perfect, however. Lately she and I haven't been able to see each other as often as we would like. She is busy with finishing her school, and I myself have been very busy with work. So we planned a vacation together as soon as we finally had time for one another. We planned a vacation to a country we both have never been to, and where an old friend of hers lives. Let's refer to her as B. B is someone who I personally despise. She's a textbook narcissist, as well as having cheated on her boyfriend multiple times, who for the record is a pretty stand-up guy. As soon as we were planning the vacation, it became apparent that we were going to pay this friend of hers a visit, seeing as we're there anyway, as well as the fact that B's birthday is sometime during our vacation. I of course thought little of it. We'll pay her a visit for her birthday, eat some cake and break open a bottle of wine, the usual. My girlfriend knows that I despise B, but she also knows that I can play nice. I mean, it's just a day, or so I thought. A couple weeks before our departure, she informed me that 2 other friends of hers, let's call them C and D, were also going to this same country during the same time as our trip. Once again, I thought little of it. Maybe they heard we were going, and seeing as the trip is quite cheap, perhaps they wanted to go as well. Then I was told they were on the same flight as us. Fine, I thought, I can deal with that. We'll have to travel with them for a little while, but after that it's finally just me and my girlfriend getting the quality time we deserve. Then, just days prior, I found out that C and D are in the hotel as us. In fact, they were in the exact opposite room as ours. Strange, I thought, but perhaps another coincidence. Our hotel is quite cheap, so maybe they happened to book the same one as us, and the room was just a coincidence. 2 days ago, we finally arrived, and that's when I finally learned the truth of this vacation. She had made plans with her friends on every single day. There was no time or opportunity for me to be alone with my partner. In fact, B was also going to be with us every day. In fact, she was the one who made most of the plans for our group, which I never agreed to. And of course, B chose all kinds of things which I despise. B despises me as much as I despise her, seeing as I was the one who exposed her cheating to her boyfriend a long time ago. Now my girlfriend expects me to do everything she and her friends are going to do, which I don't want to. I wanted to have a nice, calm vacation with my partner after months of us not being together. It honestly feels like she has no respect for me anymore. I talked to her about it, and she just said she doesn't know what else to do, and she doesn't want to disappoint her friends. Honestly, I'm at a loss here. I'm considering just booking a solo ticket back without telling my girlfriend and just leaving as soon as possible. It feels like I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm the 5th wheel with people I don't even like, especially not B. I'm just beyond angry. Our next post is by Random Dude. I found my girlfriend of 8 years cheating sex tape. Her family, close friends, and cybercrime police are involved. I'm numb. Almost 3 weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Alex, and an acquaintance, Mike, got hold of a video of my girlfriend Jamie sleeping with another man. Mike found this browsing through porn sites with niche themes, and by chance recognized Jamie. Got into contact with Alex about it, where both of them told me about the infidelity. When Alex and Mike told me of the infidelity, I went somewhere between shock and numb. I couldn't really say anything until I saw the video where I proceeded to puke my guts out. I couldn't even sit through a minute of it. The fact that it was edited to go straight into the action with Jamie's face clearly visible didn't help. We drove Mike home, and Alex had good sense to force me to spend the night at his place, rather than go home where I share an apartment with Jamie with no idea how that would end. We shared some beers mostly in silence. Alex did try to make me open up on what I felt about Jamie's infidelity, but I was just numb. I didn't know what I felt and told him so. I felt like wading through water with no thought in mind other than what was in front of me. Alex didn't force any more, and I passed out some time later. When I woke up, I recovered enough sense to realize that our relationship was most likely over. I go straight home through public transport, most likely brooding and looking pissed. I wonder what the other passengers thought when they saw me looking like crap while trying to emulate Batman. I get home and catch her getting ready to go out, asked me where I was and why I didn't contact her. I don't bother answering, and just told her we needed to talk. We sit down facing each other on our kitchen table that we built from scratch in my grandfather's farm, and that random thought pretty much broke the dam. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of harsh words was said, accusations, and blame. Too many details to describe, but essentially, I immediately broke down in tears and asked her how the heck she could ruin this relationship we worked so hard on. She's confused and wanted an explanation. I drop the bomb and show the video. She cries, begs for forgiveness, but I hear nothing. More crying and cursing until I tell her that we're over. That was it, and she just shuts off. She slumped down and closed her eyes, still crying but says nothing. This gets me out of anger, and I try to figure out what she's doing, talking to her. Hard and gentle prodding, nothing. Absolutely unresponsive, so I just drag her to our bed and lay her there. I go back to our kitchen and call her parents, Alice and Julio. I simply told them they needed to come and that their daughter is suffering a mental breakdown. I say nothing more than just telling them that they needed to see us and that what was happening needed to be face-to-face to explain. I shut my phone off, go back to kitchen, and think about what the hell just happened. Her parents rushed to our apartment demanding what the heck happened. I don't tell them about Jamie's infidelity, but just say she needed mental help. She's on the bed acting comatose, but otherwise okay. They couldn't bring her out of it, and eventually I had to explain. I didn't want to do it without Jamie being able to explain herself. I showed them the video, and they're heartbroken. Told them we had an argument. I didn't hurt her, but she probably couldn't handle the stress and broke down. They decide to bring Jamie to her university's mental health clinic. I decide not to go with them. The next day, Jamie eventually wakes up. She's stable and responsive. There, she says that the video was not consented. Her family decide to report this to cybercrime police. Jamie's family don't grill her with her mental state being the way it is, but her parents are obviously ashamed and aren't sure what to do other than what the psychologist recommends, which is to let Jamie rest for a while and support her until they're sure she doesn't implode, then was sent home to her parents. This was all relayed to me by her older sister Jackie, who's trying to be the mediator. She asked me if I really was going to end the relationship. I respond that I'm not sure if we can even salvage it. 2 days later, Jamie's parents ask me to visit them for a talk. I agree and go the next day. Jamie's parents and her older sister are present. We go to their living room and sit down. They looked sad and tired, and I felt the same. Jamie will be the last topic of our talk. First is me. They wanted my parents to be involved. I feel disrespected as we're already adults, plus me and my father are tense, but I relent, as I'm already tired and a bit out of my depth. Marriage was in discussion in the past after all. Finally, we talk about Jamie. She's stuck in her room, miserable and ashamed, otherwise okay. She'll stay with her parents for now. When she's needed by the police, she can stay with Jackie in a hotel. They understand that I needed space. They've submitted a report to our cities. They live 1 to 2 hours away in the suburbs cybercrime office. I'm needed for the investigation. I explained that I wasn't the one who found the video, but I'll try to get Mike involved. They apologize for Jamie, but I tell them she's the one who needed to apologize, and that they shouldn't baby her. They agree but beg me not to argue right now since Jamie may relapse. They explain her psychologist assessment. Spontaneous nervous breakdown, no history of mental illness, concluded to be caused by accumulated stress from her studies and acute stress reaction from our argument. She needs rest in a safe environment. Psych almost called the police on me, but they convinced them not to, and with no physical trauma observed, gave up. The discussion devolved to apologizing, tears from Alice especially. and other noise, but they did want to take charge of everything. The investigation, Jamie's well-being, her education and finances, etc. I was kinda washed off of everything. 8 days later, Alice calls me in the middle of the night begging me to see Jamie. Depressive episode, kitchen knife locked in the bathroom yelling for me. Worst hour of my life. I'm pretty sure I almost died twice on the road and glad that my country isn't developed enough for highway cameras. I meet Alice and Jackie outside the house waiting for me. Jamie has mostly calmed and Julio's with her in her room. They beg me to go see her, and with how bad the situation looked, I rushed to Jamie. She's a wreck, looked like her blood's been drained and hasn't slept for a while. She starts crying the moment she sees me and reaches out her arms. Whatever anger, exhaustion, and anxiety melted away, and I embrace her. She kept apologizing and begging for me to stay. I shush her and hold her tight. She eventually goes to sleep, and I take a moment to think about what's happening. I genuinely felt heartbroken seeing her like this. This is not how I thought where we'll be together in the future, much less this Christmas. I am losing my best friend and would have been partner for life. This was the person who helped me through my depression when even my own family dismissed it. She's even the one who made me make journals to help process what I go through. It's actually ironic how she's the reason how good I can write down details on her affair and how bad it affected me. She's not evil. She's a beautiful, patient, and overall wonderful human being. Thinking of all the stuff we've been through, what we've done for each other, if I were to list all of it, would probably reach twice the word count for my post. I love her and was prepared to be with her for life and face everything that comes with it, and she destroyed that. I wake up before her and go to the kitchen for coffee. Jackie is there and explains that she's had episodes twice before, and this was the worst yet. All of us except Jamie talk on what to do. Alice is in chemo for breast cancer. Julio runs a business 20 minutes away. Jackie's workplace is already hounding her, and Jamie needs help. The situation is screwed and everyone is exhausted. Jamie needs therapy. I implied mental institution, and that almost got my head torn off. But no one can look after her 24/7. They asked me to reschedule the inevitable and try to help her. There were definitely some emotional manipulation, but they are desperate. Due to my obvious lingering attachment and my own respect and love for these people, I agree. This is where I screwed up. I go home, talk to Mike about the investigation. He agrees to talk to the police. I call Alex and explain all the BS happening. He warns me that this didn't sound like the right call. A mental institution was probably the best, and I'm just gonna get hurt. Regardless, he'll still stand by my decision and to call when I need him. I love this guy. I've already scheduled a consultation for therapy, and Jamie will have a different one scheduled 3 days from now in my city. I just want to take a really long nap and get away from all this. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.